Hey, what's up, YouTube? This your boy PJ2 Hot here. I'm back for another video, and today I'm doing a very different video from what I usually do. Usually I do the overly done unboxings and everything, and that's pretty much all I've been doing on this channel because I just got so much going on. It's kind of, and also I'm doing two channels. One with my friends, the Review Twins, one and everyone. We're all doing a combined channel called Top Spot Gaming. So I've also been putting videos on that and trying to put videos on my main channel too at the same time. It's kind of hard to balance both of them out, but I thought maybe the best way for me to make up for that is to do a different video, a storytelling video about me, about why I chose to be straight edge. This series to me is going to be called Road to the Straight Edge Life. Gonna be doing it. I had no idea how many episodes I'm going to do. It just depends when I finish. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go until I finish telling the story, so I don't know. But it's gonna be a good series. I'm gonna try to do it as much as possible. I'm gonna try to do a couple of episodes tonight, to go ahead and get that done. But yeah, but anyways though, also before I start, there's gonna be different games playing in the background. I put the name of the games in the background in the description in case you guys are wondering what the game is. So anyways though, let's go ahead and get to the story. I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't really care how many views this get, you know what I mean? I just want people to hear my story. So anyways, let's go ahead and get to this story. Let's get started. So anyways, growing up, when I was younger, I was always the kid that was always against drugs and always against drinking. A lot of people in my family drink, some of them drink a lot. And I never thought it was cool. I never thought, it was the best thing to do for you and your body, and everything like that, because it really isn't healthy. And also, I was 12 years old to I was like 9 and 10 thinking. So of course a 9 and 10-year-old should be thinking like that. If you're not, then I don't know. But anyways, so pretty much, I always had the, at the mindset of being against drugs, and I still have it, you know what I mean? And I never really cared for it, or I wanted to not associate with people that did do them, friend wise, you know what I mean? And really back in elementary school, there weren't really any people back then doing drugs, you know what I mean? Even though there are some kids very young like that who do start doing drugs and smoking cigarettes and drinking at that age, but luckily, I guess for me, I never came across none back at elementary school that were, nor have I ever came across someone back then that at least talked about it. No one talked about it. Back then, we all talked about games, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, That's all we all talked about. Cartoons like Nickelodeon and everything, Cartoon Network. We all talked about that. We never really talked about anything else but that. At least me and my friends in the crowd, on the crowd that I was around, that's all we talked about. But, pretty much, when I got to middle school, that's when things kind of started to change. I started looking at girls a totally different way. Like back in middle school, that's when I started looking at the asses of girls, the body of the females a lot more. Attracted. I got attracted to so many girls back in middle school. It was crazy. But yeah, so back then, back in middle school, I started hearing about the drugs, weed and shit back then. Back in middle school, when a couple of girls that I had a crush on, that rode my bus, I remember hearing them talking about, smoking cigarettes and getting drunk and getting high and everything. Starting in middle school, and I think they was like in either 7th or 8th grade, so they was either 13 or 14. Already talking about it and were already doing it. I remember one girl brought a cigarette on the bus. She didn't light it, but she had it with her, and she was gonna light it. But I think the bus driver was catching on, so she did decide not to light it. But I'm like, wow, that's my first time seeing someone at my school, talk about smoking cigarettes or smoking weed and actually bringing a cigarette to school. That's where I started seeing all this, to me, bad influences, you know what I mean? And I wanted to stay away from it. Girls that I used to have a crush on that were doing drugs, I lost. Like, for example, when I figured out that they was doing drugs, I wasn't attracted to them anymore. I didn't want nothing to do with them anymore. You know what I mean? because to me it's not attractive. I thought it was very unattractive when a girl does drugs or smokes a lot of cigarettes. I still don't really find it attractive, but you know, like at the end of the day, I kind of learned to deal with it because it's just, I don't know, but pretty much you know, I started seeing it then, but it wasn't a lot though. It didn't really start getting a lot to my second year in middle school. You know what I mean? My first year, I was hearing it, but it wasn't around me a lot. So, you know, it kind of like slid by most of the time because, you know, I wasn't hearing it as much. But that's when I started to hear about it. I wasn't doing my work in sixth grade. I was a slack off. Like the only thing I cared about was playing games, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really care about doing my work or studying or anything. I was very lazy, and because of that, I got held back in sixth grade, and I had to repeat it. So I got held back in sixth grade, and again, and that year was the beginning of that year was a rough year. I went through severe depression problems. I felt bad about myself. You know, I was not happy at all. I was just terribly depressed. I didn't talk to nobody about it, but it was very bad. You know, I was feeling very down about myself. I was picked on. I was bullied. You know, yes, I was bullied. You know, and everything like that. And it was a rough time in my life, and I really, really don't miss that time. But things got better though as time went on. You know, I started making new friends. You know, the thing is, I had no friends when I got held back. I mean, like I had friends, you know, in middle school, but I'm saying when I got held back, my second year in sixth grade, I knew nobody. I mean, like I knew a few people, but I didn't really have any friends. Besides, all my friends that I did have went on to seventh grade. You know, like they moved on and went to the higher grade. So in sixth grade, my second year in sixth grade, I had to make new friends. I said, look, I got to have people to hang out with. So, you know, I made new friends and everything. I started meeting new people and stuff and getting cool people. And that's when the drugs started coming up a lot more. A lot of girls in sixth grade then, 11-year-old girls were already smoking cigarettes and smoking weed and everything. And I was kind of nervous being around them because I never, like, when people started talking about it, I used to try to walk away because I didn't want to hear it. And I was, you know, peer pressure, you know, to try to do it a lot of times. A lot of times they will say, yo, PJ, you know, trying to smoke, you know what I mean, anything like that. And I was like, no, I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. You know what I mean? I'm a drug-free guy, you know what I mean? And they would call me, you know, corny, like you lame, you know, shit like that. And me, you know, during that time period, you know, I was young and I did get affected by that stuff. I was offended. I never understood why people would think I was lame because I didn't do what they wanted me to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, people called me lame. They called me, you know, a corny, you know, a bum pretty much because I wasn't doing what they was doing. And, you know, living, to me, I was already drug free, but see, then I didn't know what straight edge was. You know, straight edge is a commitment that you make to yourself. It is a drug free lifestyle that you make, you know, that you stay away from drugs and alcohol, you know what I mean? And back then I didn't really know what straight edge was. I knew I was drug free, but I didn't know what they usually call it. I pretty much just, you know, stayed away from drugs and made a promise to myself and my grandma, my late grandma who passed away. I made a promise to her that I was, you know, going to be, you know, the good kid, that I was going to stay away from all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's a promise that not only I made to my grandma, but I made to myself. A promise that I wanted to make for her and me. You know what I mean? And pretty much I stayed to that promise. Throughout my years in middle school, drugs were a big thing. You know, a lot of my friends, you know, like a lot of my friends that I was hanging out with were starting to get into it too. And I was always the guy that said, look, I'm going to stay away from that. I don't want to be around, you know, I mean, like, I don't want to be around that, you know. I pretty much, mostly when a lot of my friends went out to go smoke, I would not go with them. You know, I would always, most of the time, just want to stay home and play the game. I'm going to continue this video on part 2, and you'll hear the rest of the story of me finding my way to the straight edge life. So anyways, though, this was the road to the straight edge life. This your boy PJ Too Hot. Peace.